How many of you have heard the saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast? I believe that it was management guru Peter Drucker first said. John Maxwell borrowed it. Patrick Lencioni borrowed it. Other people borrowed it. So, by the way, anything that you hear like that is probably not new. Somebody borrowed it from someone else who borrowed it from Solomon back in the day, and so who borrowed it from wherever he might have gotten it from. But culture eats strategy for breakfast, and it's good to be strategic. It's good to make money and make the next right choice and all that. But culture is what changes your whole business. It's a longer term play, but it'll give you a sustainable business for the future. And I have a concept that I'm going to share with you today, and is something that has been tried and true for many, many years. And I discovered it probably 30 something years ago, and I call it the power of community. The power of community. Creating a community culture in your business. What I have found, and what today is all about, is how phenomenal leaders can inspire their teams, wow their customers, and make bigger profit. Everybody wants to inspire their teams. And how many of you know if your team is inspired, they're going to wow the customer? When they are wowed, they pay the bill. You get paid. That's what Restoration Crosscheck, one of the big things. That's what Uncle Ed wants you to get paid. So when you wow your customer, you make bigger profits. Well, guess what? We're not going to wow our customer if our team is not engaged. Here's the problem. The problem is that 70% of American workers are disengaged. 70% of American workers, according to the Gallup employee engagement poll, which, by the way, has been in existence for almost 50 years. And guess what? That number has not moved at all. At all. And so what we're finding is that this is not a new problem. It's an old problem. And we're going to find out why that's a problem today. And we're going to help you, as you grow your company, avoid that statistic. The fact is that 70% are disengaged, and 18% of those disengaged team members, or employees in this case. The difference between an employee and a team member is an employee is somebody who just works for you for the paycheck. A team member is somebody who's on the team, who's actually, working with you, who's actually pedaling, okay? So this is the American culture today, all right? 30% are engaged. They're trying to make things happen. 52% are basically coasting, and 18% of that 70% are actively disengaged, which means that they're working against you. They're working against you. The Gallup poll, again, Gallup employee engagement poll says this: when organizations successfully engage their customers and their employees, they experience a boost in performance-related business outcomes compared to an organization with neither engaged employees nor engaged customers. The thing is that we work hard for our customers, but we don't work hard for our internal clients, which is our team members. And the better the more engaged, the happier, the more inspired, if you want to use that word, the happier customers are going to be, because they simply care. It's as simple as that. And so today I'm going to share with you the 3 keys to a phenomenal culture, the 3 keys to what I call true community, and then the 6 things that you need to do as a leader. So there's 3 keys. Number 1 is support. Unfortunately, in most companies, Team members don't have the support that they need. They don't have the tools that they need, the resources that they need, the time that they need. And we need to work together to make sure that they can win for us. And if you turn this around to, what Mr. Ziglar has to say is that you got to be before you can do, you got to do before you can have. And then if you want to have something different, you got to do something different. If you want to be something, if you want to do something different, you got to be something different. So let's take this the other way. So support is just helping others have the things that they want to have. Gallup, back to the Gallup poll. Employees who are thriving in their lives overall are more than twice as likely as those who are struggling to be engaged in their jobs. So guess what? Here's how you inspire people, the way you treat them. And what if you invested in them and you gave them personal development training so that they could thrive at home? So they go, work all day to make that paycheck, and then they go home and they get beat up some more at home because they're struggling at home. But you're the one who once a week, once a day, whatever it looks like, you're teaching them how to have a better life. Number 2 is engagement, helping other people do the things that they want to do that they're maybe afraid to do. Mr. Ziglar said it himself. He said that encouragement is the fuel on which hope runs. See, people are afraid to take that new position. Number 3 is accountability. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of accountability that comes with a command and control type of leadership. Did you do your job? Did you do your checklist? Did you turn in your paperwork? It's kind of like I don't know if you saw the movie Monsters, Inc., but the woman who, was always asking for the paperwork. Mike Wachowski, where's your paperwork? Not that. Accountability is helping people become the person that they have the potential to be. I love this picture where the kitten's looking in the mirror and sees a lion looking back. But guess what? If you try to encourage someone before you support them, they're going to be like, what's that? And until you stay in encouragement for a while, people aren't going to trust you with the deepest part of their hearts and what their biggest dreams are. And you might be like, well, that's okay because I don't want to know any of that. I used to be that way. I don't want to know about people's problems. I don't want to know about I don't want to know the first thing about human behavior. Like, I just want to make my customers happy and live my life, and that's it. But guess what I found out? That is living small. The hardest thing that you'll ever do is build a team. But the most gratifying thing that you can ever do is build a phenomenal dream team. And you do that by building a culture together. All right, let me give you 6 things that phenomenal leaders do. Number 1, they value others. John Maxwell said, if you don't add value to people, you devalue people. Number 2, phenomenal leaders serve others. How many of you have heard the saying, is to go the extra mile? Anybody ever heard that, go the extra mile? Jesus said it. But where did it come from? Well, back then, Israel was under Roman rule, and a Roman soldier could ask you, they could grab any person on the street, and you had to carry their gear for a mile. So most people, that's going to interrupt my day, okay? And so most people knew exactly how much a mile was because they walked a lot, so they knew exactly how much a mile was. So what would most people do? It's 80 pounds worth of stuff. I don't know if I can even make it a mile. They drop it and say, have a nice day, or maybe something worse. But what would happen if the soldier asked you to carry their gear and you got to a mile and you said, hey, let me just take it another mile. That way you won't have to try to recruit somebody else. Think about this. How are they going to see you? Folks, let me tell you something. One of the most important qualities you can have as a human being and as a leader is to be generous. Always do what's right and then some. And then some. When your team member messes up, you don't get mad when they deserve this and you give them that. Listen, we hold people accountable. People, they do their job. But guess why if they miss the mark, they're mad at themselves more than anything else. And they feel bad that they've disappointed the rest of the team. That's the culture that you want. Number 3, phenomenal leaders care for others. In this book, Leaders Eat Last, Simon Sinek said that every single employee is someone's son or someone's daughter. Being a leader is like being a parent, and the company is like a new family to join. Don't just care about your team members, show them that you care. Always be doing things that demonstrate care to them. I want my team members to be just wowed that I can't believe that he's that good to me. And that comes right back to me. Here's another book out of the Leadership Challenge series, Encouraging the Heart. At the heart of leadership is caring. Without caring, leadership has no purpose. As a relationship, leadership requires a connection between leaders and their team members over matters in the simplest sense of the heart. It's personal and it's interpersonal. Encouraging the Heart is about the principles and practices that support the human need to be appreciated for who we are and what we do. Not just what they do, but who they are. Which brings me to the next one, and that is phenomenal leaders develop others. The most important thing you can do for your future is develop leaders that can replace you. Develop people in your business that can take the load off and do the things that you probably shouldn't be involved in anyway. Number 5, phenomenal leaders love others. Again, we're not talking about mushy gushy. We're talking about commitment. This man in this picture right here is my top coach. He was with Dale Carnegie for 33 years. He owned the Houston franchise, which was the top franchise in the entire world. Sold it, retired. We both happen to be from LA, Lower Alabama, and we're friends. He sold his Dale Carnegie practice, retired, and he was going to go back into coaching. I just happened to follow up with him, and he's been coaching for us for about 14, 15 years, and he's like a father to me. He's like a dad to me. And I'm like a son to him. Phenomenal leaders coach others. They develop themselves as a coach. A leader is a coach. If you can't coach, you can't lead. And there is a discipline of coaching. And I believe that the greatest leadership book ever written is the one that's on your screen right there. I've read everything that John Maxwell has ever produced. I've read the Bible for 40 years. This book right here, I believe, is the best leadership book ever written. Coaching for performance. The team's got to perform, and we have to when we understand coaching, we can help the team perform. And the subtitle is The Principles and Practice of Coaching and Leadership. We actually, teach around this. We do masterminds around this. And just remember that good leaders ask good questions. Good leaders coach without drama. When something goes wrong, we have set questions that we ask to try to figure out what's going on. And a good coach helps others become who they want to be.